Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're having a good day today, okay? Over the next 6 weeks, I'm going to teach you about story elements. Can you say story elements? So story elements are things that make up a story. So for today, what we're going to focus on, or for this week, is characters. Can you say characters? If you know what characters means, can you turn to your parent and tell them what it is? So we've learned in school that characters can be people or animals in the story, or even sometimes things like a crayon. There's books about crayons and whatnot. So these are the people, animal, and things that make up the story. They're the action in the story. 2 words I want to go over before we start the book is swiftly. Say swiftly. So when you do something swiftly, you do it fast and you do it smooth. So show me fast, show me smooth. All right, next word is glee. Can you say glee? Glee means to be happy. Okay, show me swiftly. Show me glee. Okay, so this is a cool book that I just ordered, and I was trying to find some summer read-alouds. It's called Down by the Sea with Mr. Magee. All right, I'm trying to get it so you guys can see this. Mr. Magee and his little dog Dee love spending time in their boat on the sea. So early one morning at 6:32, they made a decision that's just what they do. Isn't that cool? The dog eating breakfast at that table. You know I love animals. Right after breakfast, Magee packed lunch. Sandwiches, carrots, a thermos of punch, a big box of raisins, some sweet pickled beets, chocolate chip cookies, and crunchy dog treats. With plans for the day and enough lunch for 3, they hopped in the car and drove down to the sea. The pair left the dock at 7 o'clock. They motored their way around Eagle Egg Rock. They passed by the lighthouse and by the old wreck, with Magee at the wheel and Dee on the deck. See them hanging out. I wonder what they're going to do in the sea. What do you think? They suddenly spied off, bow to the east, a big pot of whales. They were 50 at least, splashing about in the bright morning sun, feasting on shrimp and sardines by the ton. That means a lot. But one little whale who had eaten his fill, munching on minnows and plankton and krill, was bored with his breakfast since he was through. He swam off in search of something to do. As we're reading, I want you to think about the characters in this book. Who are the main characters? Who's this book mostly about? Could be one, could be a couple. Now Dee and Magee, in their boat on the bay, didn't notice the whale that was heading their way. They were watching the other whales put on a show, and soon that young whale was directly below. Uh-oh, what do you think the whale's going to do? I agree. From under the sea, little whale spied Magee and Dee's boat, not them inside. But not them inside. He longed for adventure. He wanted to play. So he bumped at the boat in a most friendly way. So picture the whale in the ocean over there bumping the boat. How would you feel if you were on that boat? Then the whale placed his blowhole, all right? Whales have blowholes where the air comes out directly below. And so ever so gently, he started to blow. What do you think happens to the boat when the whale blows? Magee saw the bubbles, he felt the boat sway, then up with the boat on a fountain of spray. Higher and higher the little boat flew, as harder and harder that the little whale blew. Then the whale blew a blast as hard as he could, much harder in fact than a little whale should. And that final blast blew in the boat up in the sky, first 30, then 40, then 50 feet high. How do we think Magee and Dee are feeling right now, being that high up in the air? I wouldn't feel too safe. I would be kind of scared. The boat kept on rising, but it didn't stop there. Wind hit harder and flew through the air. Dee and Magee sailed over the sea when all of a sudden, uh-oh, let's see where they're going. They struck a tree. So there they were, stranded, Magee and his pup, in the top of a spruce tree, 60 feet up. How are they going to get down? Who's going to be there to help them in the middle of the ocean? From their perch in the sky, the two watched in dismay as the whale far below swam swiftly away. Magee was downhearted. Just what could he do? They seemed hopelessly stuck, but little Dee knew. The secret to get the boat safely unpinned was to rock back and forth and hope there was some wind. So back and forth they rocked, trying to get out of that tree. So they rocked and they rocked for an hour or so, but the boat didn't budge because the wind didn't blow. Just when they thought they'd be stuck there all night, they spotted far off a spectacular sight. What do you think they're going to see in the distance? Away in the distance across the blue bay, the whales, all 50, were heading their way. They swam through the water in one long straight row and gathered around the small island below. Look at them gathering around. How are they going to help? Magee looked down at the circle of whales surrounding the island and raising their tails, when all of a sudden it made perfect sense. They're trying to save us, he shouted with glee. All right, glee means really happy. Hold on, Dee, hold on, as tight as can be. So the whales are using their tail to hit the tree branch down. Let's see if it works. Their tails slapped down with a thunderous crash, which in turn created a super high splash that covered the island and raced up the tree and dislodged the boat, that means got it unstuck, and set the boat free. Did the plan work from the whales? Yeah. Dee was so happy, she let out a yelp. Magee tripped his hat to the whales, took it off, for their help. Thank you, my friends, for saving the day. Then they all waved goodbye, and the whale swam away. On the way home, little Dee had a thought. What about all of the food they had brought? In all excitement, they ate not even a bite. So they saved it and had it for dinner that night. The end. So I want you to tell your parents or whoever you're with right now who's watching you, okay? Who was the main character? Who were the main characters in this book, okay? So can you name them right now for them? All right? Also, don't forget, let's go over our words one more time. Can you say swiftly? Means to go quick and smoothly. And glee means to be happy, okay? So every week we're going to do a read aloud about a story element. This week's story element was characters. So name those characters, okay? Boys and girls, I miss you so much. Have a great day.